Jeep and Bubba here, and today, well, I'm at Dawson Forest in Dawsonville, Georgia. I got my LJ with me, and it's just me. It's just kind of an unplanned trip today, and I'll tell you more about that if you wait a little bit longer in the video. I'm kind of worked up about something, and I'll tell you all about it. But first, what I want to do is just give some good information about this area. And in fact, I don't even know if all the gates are open today. And if you're watching this video, that means at least some of the gates are open, because I wouldn't have much to film if the main gate right behind my shoulder over here is closed. There's a track that's always open, but there's one section that connects to the other part of the park or property, and if it's closed, there won't be much of a video to show you. So if you're seeing it, it's open. Anyways, this is an area owned by the city of Atlanta, the municipality of Atlanta. It is actually run by the forestry department. I'm gonna walk, if you guys Jeep over here again. I'm at Dawson Forest, and I've been trying to film the intro to this video, and there's a lot of cars that have been zooming by me here in Dawson Forest. Anyways, I want to give some quick info about Dawson Forest, and then we'll get into a little bit what the trail looks like. So those that have just hopped onto my channel because they need some general information about the area can watch that, and then we'll kind of get in a little bit what's going on with me today about in the middle of the video. So if you want the full experience, watch the whole thing. If you just want information about Dawson Forest, well, just watch right now. Anyways, this piece of property is owned by the city of Atlanta, and it's run by the forest department of Georgia, and it's mostly all public land. You can ride around here on your mountain bikes, you can ride on your Jeeps. It's not prohibited for four-wheelers or ATVs, UTVs, anything like that. Only street legal vehicles. You can fish, you can actually hunt in season. There's public hunting land. There is public hunting land for people with disabilities. There's handicap areas. It's a nice area. It's a beautiful area. It has a weird backstory. It's known to be haunted by like the Black Witch of Dawsonville. I don't believe in that, but there's actually been a couple murders out here. There's been a couple bodies dumped out here, which has given it kind of a spooky, people don't like to be here at night, but you actually can camp. You can ride horses here. You can hike. There's all sort of things that you can do here. It's known for having some turkey and a little bit of deer, and some people do hunt here. It's also known for being a nuclear test facility, I think in the 50s or 60s. You gotta Google that. But it used to have an open air reactor. It's now been buried and underground, but we are pretty close to where some nuclear activity went on, and you can get pretty close to the old buildings. Not that I suggest that, but we're gonna ride around and see what we see, and I'll show you what this is all about. People ask me all the time, what's a good beginner's trail in Georgia? Listen, if you live north of Atlanta, this is the best beginner's trail for you. There's nothing hard about it. You shouldn't get stuck. You shouldn't have any issues, and you're 5 minutes away from the Dawsonville outlets and Georgia 400. So it's a nice, just beginner's easy ride, figure out what's going on with your Jeep kind of trail. All right, guys, we are in luck. The gates are open, and so we're going to be able to film Dawson Forest. Dawson Forest is one of the first places I've ever just went and rode and got the tires dirty on anything I've owned. There's a lot of mysteries and stories behind this place. Some are true, some are not true. Looks like right now the horse and bicycle trails are open, and I am driving through that area right now. There's also some camping areas and things like that, and I'm just cruising that parking lot right now as I tell you a few things. But it's just a real easy place to ride. I used to come here with my friends when I had a two-wheel drive Jeep, and just check this area out. Everyone thinks that it's kind of creepy and scary at night, but we think it's kind of fun. But anyways, if you want more information about the trek itself, the track, I actually I'm actually recording right now on Gaia GPS this track, so that you can go back, and what you have to do is go on to Black Bear Off-Road and go down to the bottom of Black Bear Off-Road. I don't know if you can see that behind my, I don't know if you can see that behind me in the back glass, but just a parking area for bike riding and equestrian riding and a little bit of camping. and it's right into the beginning of the first entrance. But anyways, if you want more information, like GPS coordinates, things like that, just go to the recently traveled section. It's, if you go to blackbearoffroad.com, in the bottom left, there's just an area that says recently traveled. It's all the way at the bottom on like the footer menu. And what I do is I'll post my Gaia GPX files, and you'll be able to check this all out. Right now we're just riding on asphalt, kind of getting into this area. When we get to gravel, I'll flip the camera around and show you what that looks like. But basically I write up little blogs on there, and you can read about a little bit of information. Maybe I'll put some links in there, or even on this video, of some of the weird mysteries that go on here, or have been rumored to have happened here, or kind of the stories. But the nuclear testing thing, that's real. That was a real thing. But anyways, if you go to that section, whoa, I'll have the different tracks marked for you, and I'll have two different entrances marked, because there's one entrance that is right out of Dawsonville, and the other one is pretty far north. So depending on where you live, you can come in either entrance. And there is a small water crossing. It's easy, even with a lot of rain, you can cross it. I've seen cars do it in the summertime. And so you will cross that if they have the gates open on that side. So right now I am getting off on the gravel, so I am going to turn this around so you can kind of see what the trails look like a little bit. But yeah, you'll be able to follow my Gaia stuff. So right now I'm going to do this track, which is like the Dawsonville side of it, and then I'll hit another track and get it started as I go over to the other side of this area. I don't know how many acres it is total, but it's actually fairly large in acreage, so I'll share that with you guys. So this is the first gravel road to the left if you're following my GPS tracks. If you're coming in from the Dawsonville side, this is the first gravel road, and there is another entrance, and I've never seen that gate open ever. So I just wanted to drive down that and show that to you guys. I have never seen that gate open, so I think that road is Kelly Bridge Road, but you're not able to get in typically from that road. I'm not sure when they open that. You can look on the Georgia Forestry Department's website, but typically they don't update that often. There is a couple of nice places that have signage when you first pull in that typically have all the information you need to know that day, whether they're having hunting, if it's hunting season, whether there's bears in the area, whether they're allowing camping, what they're allowing at the time. So you can typically rely on that. And sometimes they even have maps, and you can rely on that as well. But Gaia GPS will get you around here just fine. So I'm pulling off the first gravel road and back onto asphalt. Alright guys, I'm pulling up to the second gravel road in Dawson Forest. But one thing, and to the left, one thing I want to mention to you, if you see kind of over there, I'll kind of point the Jeep that direction, you'll see that the road is closed and that they have a gate up. We got to really be respectful of that in this area, because a lot of times they will threaten to keep these roads closed if they're having too much traffic, if they're having problems with trash, if they're having issues with the real issue out here is that it's close to a couple high schools. There's a lot of younger guys that come out here with their trucks and do some drinking and partying and things like that, but they really have to police this area and keep it nice, because it really isn't meant to be an off-road trail. It's meant to just kind of be an all-around everything, share nature with the public, and like I said, it's owned by the city of Atlanta, so it's not necessarily just a dedicated off-road park or something like that. Actually, it's the opposite of that. So when you're out here riding on these roads, even though it's completely legal, you'll see that there's gates. There's one down here left. I don't know if you'll see it in the video, but these gates lead all over the place. I've been here when some of the gates are open, and there's some really cool, hard to ride four-wheel drive trails, but I don't think they have the funds necessarily to keep these things up. So we got to really be careful to just make sure that we're staying on the main trails and that we're respecting this area. Some people may take this area as a joke a little bit. You know, it's not an off-road area, it's not an off-road park, it's not rock crawling. It's a fantastic place to see kind of beautiful scenery, to kind of get out in the woods. It's closer than going up to a lot of the areas in the mountains. For me, I had to drive usually an hour and a half to get to a lot of the places that we off-road, and this is only about 45 minutes from my house, so it's half the drive. So it's really just 2 tracks and overlanding, and it's not a massive area, but you can ride around here for about an hour. So it definitely, for me, it helps me get a little dirt on the tires. I like to come to this area to get good pictures. I like to come to this area to do test rides. If I break down, I'm not far from a main road. So it's really a neat area to have at our disposal. But I wouldn't come out here and treat it like it's an off-road park. So just that forewarning. Little section here where there's a gate, and there's actually a really cool trail down that area, but I've rarely seen it open. It goes down to the river, which I believe is the Etowah. But there's this little section right here that some people have decided to off-road in, and they've put some large boulders in it. And I'm going to be honest, I did it back in the day, and I will say it's tempting not to ride up it, but that was way before I knew about tread lightly. I mean, instinctually I should have known better, but yeah, I mean, we got to be careful with places like that. It's a cool place to get a picture. It's one of the only places you can flex, but it wasn't meant to ever be used for that. And we got to respect this area and stay off of those kind of things, especially if you see that they've put up posts or they've put up rocks and they've tried to keep people from eroding and tearing up the trail. I just saw a couple areas out here where there's gates, and like leading up and back and forth to the gates is like just kind of dirt roads, and people have looked like they've just kind of dug in and tried to rut it up. So they really want you to stick to the gravel, and that's understandable. I know some people just want to get their rigs muddy, but this really isn't the place for that. But again, it's just a really cool place to ride around, and really you don't have to air down. The roads are pretty smooth. You can come out here in a 2-wheel drive vehicle or an all-wheel drive vehicle, except for maybe the water crossings and a few of the side roads. The main trail is pretty easy and easy to pass. A Subaru or something like that would be fine as well. Hey guys, basically this is the end of the road when you come in the first entrance, and it runs into the sign here that says road closed, and then you're gonna see this creepy building right there, and I have no idea what that is, but like I said, this was a nuclear facility. It was an open reactor facility, and they swung an open air nuclear reactor in this area. I don't know what that would have been, if it had been a parking garage or what that was part of the main structure, but they've got this road blocked, and they've got a bunch of rocks up, and they certainly don't want you to go further down there. Gaia GPS shows that road goes on quite a bit, and there looks like there's fresh tire tracks that actually do go down there, but they do have it locked up here. I won't go any further because I don't want to get any more radiation exposure than I have just standing here, but we're going to be turning around and heading up the road and showing you what the rest of the trail looks like. All right guys, we're back towards the entrance. Apparently this paved road's called Dawson Forest Road, and when you get towards the end of it, it changes its name to Railroad Road. The long gravel road I rode on was called Clark Road, and that does connect to Kelly Bridge Road, but the gate was closed. Almost every single gate was closed except for Clark Road today. So anyways, we're headed down Trail 29, which is Shoal Creek Road now, where the water crossing is, and we're gonna show you what that looks like. Alright guys, huge disappointment here. This gate heads to the water crossing. We are not far away from it at all. And then I have no idea where that trail goes, but the road is closed there as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna park and I'm gonna walk you down to that water crossing, okay? And if you wanna see what the rest of the trail would look like past the water crossing, there's actually a section. I'm just gonna pull right here, guys, so I'm out of the way. Actually, this looks like that mountain bike through here. I'll turn around and get a better spot. 1 second, guys. Hey guys, so I just turned around and got out of the way of where they might be mountain biking today, but yeah, huge disappointment. But if you check out my video 3 trails in 1 day, the pretty rough part that Wooly broke at was the backside of Dawsonville Forest, which is where we were almost at that entrance. Basically, once you cross the water, you maybe go a half mile and then it becomes paved. It goes left to right and on a paved road, and then there's an entrance, and then there's a little cutback where you can do a little bit more off-roading. So I'm disappointed. This is my Dawsonville Forest off-roading video, or a kind of review to show you about this place, and I can't show you that, but I will walk down and show you the water crossing. I've got pictures and stuff of me doing the water crossing. I'll see if I can find them and I'll insert them here. Besides that, I'm just going to walk down and show you guys that water crossing. Typically in the summer, it's a great place to swim. You see people fishing. I actually ran out of gas halfway through it once, and we were able to crank it back up and get it out of the water, and then it completely ran out, and a total stranger drove me to the gas station to get some gas in my old YJ. The YJ at like a quarter tank was empty, and I learned the hard way. But anyways, I'm going to walk down and show you that and maybe tell you a little bit what's going on with my story today. All right, everybody, this is the water crossing. And to be honest, I don't know why this road's closed. This is no deeper than it typically is. That's about what it normally is. Maybe some people have been getting stuck. It is kind of a sandy bottom through here. I don't know what it looks like in video, but it actually is pretty shallow. If you go slow, the current's not that bad. It looks like there might be a little bit of a current, but there's not. I'm gonna walk over this. Well, it's too muddy on the bank. I'm gonna walk right here, see if I can give you guys another angle of downriver. Now, do not ride a vehicle down that river. Please do not. That'll get us all in a lot of trouble, but there is some trout fishing through there. You can kayak through here. So, that's the rest of the trail right there. I'm gonna turn you guys around and finish this up. Guys, that's as much as I can show of Dawson Forest. What I'll do is, if you go and look at that recently traveled blog on the Black Bear Off-Road page, I'll finish up this track using the Gaia GPS. So what I'll do is just take a piece of trash. I've actually been impressed. I hadn't seen that much trash out here today. I've only gotten about 3 pieces, so pretty impressed with that. Anyways, I'll finish up this track, and so you'll be able to see how to get one entrance and make it a through drive, not so that you won't have to do a round trip. Although if you live in Atlanta, making it a round trip will actually be faster, but that's just me. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit a thumbs up. If you want to hang on and see kind of why we did this video today and what kind of had me worked up in the beginning, I'm going to catch my breath and tell you. Guys, I caught my breath, and I am in a little campsite right above the river, and there's actually a walking path down to another section you can fish. But so today was kind of a bust. I was supposed to go to the dentist this morning because it was raining this morning. By the way, the river's not that high for it raining this morning, so I'm pretty impressed. So I knew it was gonna rain this morning. Set up a dentist appointment. My daughter actually got sick and was throwing up all the night before. So I thought maybe I was getting sick. Didn't want to go to the dentist with all this coronavirus and flu going around. I didn't want to risk it, passing that on to people. And so I hit up Wooly, and he had actually mentioned that they had a press vehicle that needed tested. And I'll tell you, it's a TRD Tacoma. and he wanted me to test it out and do some reviews on it. And anyways, he got busy, wasn't able to do it, but I wanted to go out here to Dawson Forest and pre-run a little bit and see if this would be a good place to, a safe place that we can ride it and see how many gates were open. I knew it was a safe place to ride, but I wanted to see how many gates were open to see if we'd actually be able to cruise around and get enough of a video to do a review. And I think there is enough, but a lot of the gates were closed. Unfortunately, the water crossing being the best one. And I'm disappointed I can't finish the video through there, but there's really only maybe a half mile or a mile left in the whole area, and you guys will be able to figure that out looking at Gaia and checking out the 3 trails in one day in North Georgia video. You'll be able to see everything. So anyways, on the way here, my Jeep started overheating. So it's kind of, not overheating, it was probably about 220, 230, but I run a 190 thermostat, so I was like kind of concerned. So I stopped and I forgot, it was about 70 today. I forgot, oh, I'm still running my grill inserts, and those actually make a huge difference when it's warmer outside. Sorry, I'm walking, I just happen to do that when I'm talking on the phone. So anyways, so it was running like 230 probably. So I pulled the grill inserts out, realized coolant reservoir was kind of low. I didn't want to open the actual radiator, so I put a little in there, and my heater core is leaking, and that contributes to that being kind of low. So I do need to replace my heater core, but it's just kind of like one thing after another today. I mean, it's not far from my house at all, and excuse me, and one of my hood pins, I have aftermarket pins. I did an install video on those. Notice one of the bolts was missing, so the hood wasn't completely latched down. I was able to kind of rig that up till I get home. Heater core's giving me issues. It's kind of steaming up inside of the Jeep, and then it's kind of overheating a little bit. When it overheats just a little bit, the bottom of the radiator in an LJ connects to the transmission cooler, and that thing is what cools down the transmission. When my transmission's already on the fritz, it's got 209,000 miles or whatever on it. So one thing led to another. I was headed up a hill and just kind of gunned it because there was a guy really on my butt, and I wasn't going that fast. I try to drive pretty slow in that old Jeep, but anyways, sounded like I blew my transmission. I mean, it was just boom, and then RPMs went up, and I think I blew my trans, and I was able to pull off really quickly. I turned it off, let it cool down. Had a code for general transmission fault. It doesn't really tell you what's wrong, it just tells you something is wrong. So I went ahead and just reset the codes, reset the battery. I didn't have any water with me, so there was a Kroger nearby. I got some distilled water and put it in the reservoir. The other day I put full strength antifreeze in there, and I just put full strength so next time I could have water while I was out, make it easier. So I just got some distilled water, put it in there, and it was good to have some water with me. Anyways, all I brought was coffee. But so anyways, I'm thinking I'm overheating. I blowed my trans, and thankfully transmission fluid looked good, but I think it's done. It might blow up on the way home. I don't know. I got about a 45-minute ride, and you might say, well, why'd you go out wheeling? I was so close. And the other day I accidentally deleted all the pictures in my phone, and I haven't been able to recover them. And I had like 700 pictures in my phone, and they're gone. So I didn't really have any content to put on social, and I've been on rainy days. I've been working on the website for Black Bear, and I just got nothing to post. So I was like, let's go out and do some riding. And without that social media stuff, yeah, nothing happens. We see a lot more people on the website and getting the information we want them to see when we're posting on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and all those places. So anyways, woe is me. I'm kind of worried that the transmission's blowing up. So we've been saving for a new transmission and actually a motor too, because I know it's going to happen here soon. But I'm not all the way there. So I'm kind of upset about that. You guys want to show me some love on Patreon? Feel free. I'll put the link below. I think I've mentioned that I have a Patreon account, but I've never had anyone donate on there. And because I'm not a full-time YouTuber, although I post quite a bit, and I'm not living on the road, I don't ask people to kind of support the channel. Actually, what I do ask is if you want to support the channel, go to Black Bear Off-Road, buy a swag pack, buy a hat. Actually, these are some new hats I'm trying out. Let me know what you think. Got them from Tennessee Custom Workwear. He sent them to me as a sample, and pretty cool. He made me a shirt that I paid for, but he sent me this hat free to try out, so we're trying it out, seeing what we think. But anyways, I was supposed to go wheel and woolly, test out the TRD, and ended up with probably a Jeep I'm gonna have to limp home. It did okay riding out here on the trails today, but man, I just wanted to get some content out, and I like to do what I set out to do. So I've got about half hour before the sun sets. I got about a 15-minute walk, and then we'll ride back home and do some editing and see how it goes. But I wanted to save this till the end of the video. I like to keep it real with you guys, but if somebody just wanted to see this video as far as off-roading standpoint goes, Dawson Forest is a fantastic place to kind of come out and ride. I passed about 3 different young guys and trucks. There was a young girl in a TJ, looked stock as can be, and she was just waving as can be. It's great to see people out here riding and learning a little bit about their vehicles. And I've only picked up 3 pieces of trash. The trail's really maintained. They look like they've been cutting trees and really maintaining this place. So it's a great place to come out. I suggest coming out in June or July so you can swim in that water and just have a good time. If you have any questions, leave them below. You know, if you need anything from me, shoot me an email. Had a guy, he's in Georgia this weekend with his family this week, and we might meet up and eat lunch. And just because he's been watching the YouTube channel, shot me an email, and I said sure, let's meet up. He wanted to meet at the shop, but it's not completely worked out yet. But I got a spot kicked out, and did a little handshake deal with the guy, so we're hoping that'll work out. But before I sign, I'm not gonna say anything official until I sign that lease. But anyways, a lot of financial obligations going around right now, and you know, just trying to make everything work. It's just real life out here, isn't it, folks? If you're gonna own a Jeep and you're gonna drive them, they're gonna be old. You know, me and my wife been talking about buying a JL lately, and the whole reason is because it'd be low mileage and put a warranty on it, and you can just go out and ride, and they ride comfortable. But anyways, I've talked to you folks enough. If you want to hear me talk some more, hop on the podcast. I appreciate you guys watching and liking and subscribing. I actually didn't even plan on shooting this video today, and I know it's kind of a hodgepodge thrown together thing, but I thought I might share my day with you guys, especially because I'm out here riding alone. Oh, I forgot my tools were at my shop. I got a little place to leave our lawnmowers for our lawn care business, and I've been working on some mowers there, so I left my tool roll that I usually keep in my Jeep there. So I got hardly any tools. I got a multi-tool and a pocket knife, and I got some recovery straps and a jug of water. But I'll be okay. I'll get out of here. I promise you guys, I won't get stuck out here. And if I do, like I said, this is a great place to come try out because you're so close to Georgia 400. They'll come get you in a wrecker out here. It's no problem. So I'm not too worried. I got good cell service. Guy at GPS picks up great out here, and I'll be able to text if I have any issues. So I'll be totally fine. I'll get home. Don't worry about me. Guys, come out here and enjoy it. It's a great trek. Go check out the Recent Travels blog if you want to get all the information about this place. And I appreciate you guys tagging along, watching. And as always, we'll be seeing you. It's kind of getting dark out here. It's spooky out here. I wouldn't camp out here. It's spooky. Also, right back there, found her leopard thong. Somebody had a good time in this campsite, and they just left the evidence behind. Anyways, it's spooky. I gotta get out of here. See y'all. Love you. Bye. All right, I made it back to my Jeep safe and sound. And I assume, if you know that I posted this video and I edited it, I'm still alive. I didn't get eaten by the witch of Dawsonville. Although it is still really creepy out here. And my Jeep did cool down enough that I was able to top off the radiator with some distilled water. It actually wasn't that low. So now, if I can drive out of this place without the witch smashing into my Jeep, I'll be okay. Anyways, sorry about all that rambling. That's what happens when you wheel by yourself. You get bored. It's creepy out here. All right, I'm getting out of here. Don't camp out here. It's creepy. But you can if you want. But it's weird.